Shumai guys, welcome back to the Life to the Full podcast, the podcast that helps you make the most of your time here on Earth. My name's Dav Morse and I am your host. It is my job to educate and inspire, to encourage and equip people to live life to the full. Today, I have a simple story for you. It is a reminder, really, of taking note of what's important in life. It's a story that I heard many years ago in Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek book, and it is entitled The Mexican Fisherman. So here is the story of the Mexican fisherman. A wealthy businessman is on holiday in a small Mexican coastal village. One morning, he sees a fisherman pull his little boat up to the shore. Inside the boat are just a few large, beautiful fish. The businessman asks him how long it took to catch the fish. "Not very long," the fisherman replies. The businessman looks puzzled. "Why didn't you stay out longer and catch more fish?" The fisherman smiles. "Because this is enough. With the rest of my time, I sleep late, I play with my children, I take a siesta with my wife, Maria. In the evenings, I stroll into the village and sip wine and play guitar with my friends. I have a full and rich life." Excuse my Mexican accent, by the way. It's based on Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. Anyway, the businessman laughs. "Listen," he said, "I'm from Harvard Business School, and I can help you. You should spend more time fishing. With the profits, you could buy a bigger boat. With that income, you could buy a whole fleet of boats. Then, instead of selling your fish to the village, you could sell directly to the processing plants and eventually own your own cannery. You could control the whole product, the distribution, everything. You'd need to leave this village, of course, and move to Mexico City, maybe Los Angeles, maybe even New York, where you'd run your expanding empire." The fisherman asks, "But how long will this take?" 15, maybe 20 years, says the businessman. "And then what?" "Well then, my friend, that's the best part. When the time is right, you could sell your company, make millions and retire. Move to a small coastal fishing village where you could sleep late, play with your children, take siestas with your wife, and in the evenings stroll into the village, sip wine, and play guitar with your friends." I love this story because it really speaks out against hustle culture. It really seeks to emphasize what are the important things in life. It is an absolute foolish thing to do, to give up your life's energy, to miss out on all those things that are good, like enjoying the company of your wife, playing guitar with your friends, sipping wine, strolling along the coast. It's a mistake to give up all of those in pursuit of something more. We're told right from the start, from school, right, we want to get on, we want to get a good job, we want to do this and that, and then one day we can retire. And then you can have your dream life. But I've already spoken recently on the podcast that you don't have to be hustling and working and then one day hoping to retire. You can design your life the way that you want it right now. I've said before, the longer you've not designed your life, the more effort it will take, and maybe even the longer it'll take to redesign. The younger you are, the earlier you can start out with these plans in mind. I've talked recently as well about taking mini retirements. I am all for building a life you don't want to retire from. Building a life which allows you to go to the gym at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, meet up with friends for coffee, pick your children up from school, go to sports days, take your family travelling a month every year, of course. Who wouldn't want that? Rather than designing or not even bothering to design your life in the first place and just being set in default mode. Sometimes it is easy to slip into hustle mode in my own life. Slip into making the podcast, making meditations, doing this work, doing that work, writing this, writing that. And it takes some effort occasionally to remember, actually, the important things are right in front of my eyes. My friends, my relationships, my family. Why am I giving up so much of my life's energy when what is important is right in front of me? So my invitation to you today is stop postponing the life that you say you want. Start designing your life today. Take out a pen and paper and start planning your ideal life. Is it to work 4 hours a day? Is it to work 15 hours a week? Whatever it is, start writing it down and start making steps towards that goal. One of the biggest pushbacks I've gotten from my episode on taking your family travelling for a month every year is, how can anybody afford to do that? We've got jobs, we've got work to do. We can't just take the time off. And really, it comes down to a financial question. If you had the means, could you do it? So start thinking about, how can I build an emergency fund? How can I build a freedom fund which will allow me those kind of things? If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. I am happy to do financial coaching. Get in touch. Life to the Full podcast on Instagram or Threads. And see if we're a good fit to work together. Till next time, let's keep choosing to live life to the full. Peace out.